All right, good evening. We'll call to order our regular city council meeting for Tuesday, December 15th, 2020. Yeah. We'll start with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, roll call, please.
Sebo.
Here.
Bender. Here. Walker.
Here.
Beam.
Here.
Seawater.
Here. All right, thank you. Item number 4 on our agenda is approval of the December 15th, 2020 amended agenda.
So moved. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please respond with aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Item number 5 is just a formal announcement of my pending resignation with no date set. So that'll happen as soon as I know, and I'll communicate it out to everybody. Item number 6 is going to be the swearing in of police officer George Womachow.
So I asked that we put this on the agenda so we could swear in our latest additions to the police department. This is Jordan Womachow. I wanted to give him an opportunity to meet the council and the council an opportunity to meet him, as well as the public an opportunity to meet him as well. So now we'll proceed with the swearing in. I'll read this to you and then you reply in the affirmative, I do or I will. Go ahead and raise your right hand for me, please. State of Iowa, County of Blackhawk, I, Jordan James Womachow, do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of Iowa, and will faithfully and impartially, to the best of my ability, discharge all duties of the office of police officer in the city of Evansdale, County of Blackhawk, State of Iowa, as now or hereafter required by law.
I do.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you.
We got you. See how big that smile is. Thank you.
Oh, I forgot the most important part, sorry. Probably want this.
Yeah.
Very cool. Item number 7 on our agenda is approval of December 1st regular meetings minutes as amended. Can we get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of December 1, 2020.
Okay.
Same.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. This is a roll call vote.
Sebo.
Yes.
Bender. Yes. Walker.
Yes.
Beam.
Yes.
Seawater.
Yes.
Item number 8 is going to be approval of our consent agenda. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please respond with aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Thank you. Item number 8 is the approval of our resolution calendar.
So moved. Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. This is a roll call vote.
Sebo.
Yes.
Bender. Yes. Walker.
Yes.
Beam.
Yes.
Seawater.
Yes.
Okay. Item number 9 on our agenda is going to be a request from Public Works Director to purchase 8 tires. Excuse me, in the amount of $26.40 from D&D Tire.
Make a motion to approve the request from the Public Works Director.
I'll second.
Hold on a second.
What are the tires for?
It's for one of our plow trucks.
Truck tires.
Yeah.
Freightliner.
Yeah, Freightliner, that's what it is. Okay, so we do have a motion, we have a second. Okay, all in favor, please respond with aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Item number 10
So this one's part of that Tyler Technologies thing that we've been talking about a while, as we try to move to an online format with Waterworks and for the city for being able to pay. So this first one is to install the cash collection. So what you guys are gonna see, I passed out a piece of paper, it's from Open Edge. So that ties into this. So Open Edge is a second, so let me back up a second. So part of what killed our going down the path with Paymentus was Tyler Technologies had that data breach, if y'all remember me talking about that. So once that happened, then they switched to just one vendor, which is called Open Edge for data security reasons. So it's kind of a bolt-on. So if we want to be able to have people come in and pay with a debit card, this is how we do it, is with this Open Edge program. So initially the quote from Open Edge was a little high. So Deanna talked back to Tyler Technology and they kind of helped push Open Edge down. What we're going to see, you see that 2.95% fee. So the average water bill is $167. So that comes out to rounded to $4.93 for the user to pay as a fee, which is somewhat similar to what you see happening at Blackhawk County when you go up there and use a debit card or whatever. But that at least gives that option for people. And then I know we talked about the online bill pay format, or the online invoicing can save us, well, it'll save Waterworks and, well, mostly Waterworks actually, labor and postage, if when they sign up to have email invoices or utility billing. So what we want to do here, Waterworks usually has the meeting the same day as us, but they didn't, I think they got pushed to next week. So the thought is we just approve what the total cost is, and then just work with Waterworks on how much of that they're going to pay. Because I think that's the direction that the city wants to go anyways.
Is we check with the local banks and whatnot? I know, like when I owned my business, we took credit cards and whatnot. They had a 2% service fee on top of it, but we could use the credit cards at that particular point. In other words, so we're paying this amount. Is this basically for the software to be able to hook up with them? Is this for what's it for?
So the software is what you see in 10 and 11.
Mm-hmm.
The Open Edge is what the user will pay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So we're basically buying the licensing.
Well, we're buying the ability to have the interface is what that is.
Is that a yearly charge or is that
There's both of them were in your packet.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's all in there.
Have you had a conversation as to what percentage the Waterworks gonna pay out of this 19,000?
No, because, obviously with me being out and, now they moved their meeting, so. But I mean, it's something that they're obviously well aware of, right? Because we were getting ready to go forward with Paymentus.
Yeah, but, I guess I'm not ready to vote on, they're well aware of.
Well, that's your choice. I really don't care. To be honest with you. It's something we said we were gonna get going, so it's up to you. Y'all can wait as long as you want.
I would like to see what they're willing and negotiating with you or whatever, what would be their percentage also before we say, yeah, we're gonna go for this.
So if nobody's, so then we can just kill 10 and 11 then. And then you guys can decide whenever you feel like it in the future.
Well, we can fill it or we can just table it. I noticed it's quotes for 90 days from Open Edge. That seems to be where all the back and forth was trying to get that cost down. So let's just table it for another time within that time period. If that makes sense.
Yeah, because we don't wanna put ourselves in a position where we've already approved it and then
Right.
they say, we're not gonna pay.
Well, the part
Maybe
that
a
you,
couple thousand or something.
I mean, the part that I want to say publicly though, that you guys are missing is we moved 20 grand administratively, potentially for this or a library consultant, when we amended the budget 2 months ago. So we're probably not going to do the library consultant part of it. So, but again, it's your choice. It really doesn't matter to me. So if somebody wants to make a motion to table it or do whatever,
I make a motion to table it at this meeting till the further review of the water department.
I'll second.
okay, all in favor in tabling item number 10, respond with aye. Okay. Item number 11, same thing.
I make a motion to table it.
No, that's our software, but you're gonna approve them all at once probably anyways. Cause that's an online format for like our,
But this is more getting that building.
building, yep, I know. But I mean, to me, it doesn't make sense to approve that if they're gonna wait on the other.
Are they not gonna hold
Well,
on to
this
this quote if we don't do both, or?
This is kind of like permanent.
That's, yeah, it's like a permitted, right, exactly, that's the part that I went back and asked them to figure out since Permit Express is outdated and that's our dog licensing and everything else, but,
Yeah, we
I
can
mean-
make that, it's more of a different application.
right. Well, that's specific to us, as a city.
It is.
Mhm.
If they can do them separately, can we vote on them separately?
Well, that's why we put them on there separately, yes.
Could we have a little update what the, building project really means, that, you know, the Tyler technology, a little more dialogue?
Do you want me to respond to that?
You might as well, because I thought I just said it, so go ahead.
Okay, well, the second one on there, the building projects online component is more, we had a program written for us like back in 2011 by a local IT person, and it's called Permit Express. We have our building inspections on there, you know, to issue a building permit, also pet licensing and shelter rentals. That they no longer support that program. And, you know, there's things that are happening to it that we have no control over. It's just not performing, you know, like it should. Of course, you know, it's a 9-year-old program with no support. So even if we had a problem with it, we can't get it resolved. So the second application here on the agenda from Tyler was to actually get that program.
Is there an annual fee to that on top of this $9,000 buy-in?
It's in your packet.
Yeah, but it was in
I
your
was just
packet.
asking for the
Just-
record.
I don't know what it was right off the top of my head, sorry about that. I don't know if I have it in here. Yeah, I do. Yeah, 1725 was the recurring fees annually.
Annually.
So what are we doing here? We're gonna motion to table, motion to approve,
Well, I think we should probably table till we find out the other.
okay, well, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to table it till we have a discussion with the water department, and we'll know where we sit.
Okay, so we got a motion. Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, respond with aye, please. Alright. Nay?
Nay.
Okay. I didn't think I heard you. Alright, item number 12, council to consider and recommend action for overflowing garbage carts. So I don't know, do you want to take that one too? Well, I really don't want to either, but, so, I mean, obviously in the packets, it's pretty, you know, there's an issue with people overfilling garbage carts. You know, it says that, you know, the lid's supposed to fully close, that's obviously not happening, it's causing issues with litter and everything else. It's actually breaking our cans at a much higher rate, so just need to figure out how y'all wanna handle that, whether, you know, we send out a warning one time and then just don't pick it up, or, you know,
Who's gonna notify you? Is it the garbage carriers?
okay, yeah, they're the ones
And I
that
gotta
ones-
admit, the other day, my garbage lid was high.
Mine's been
I
high
noticed
occasionally,
that, you know,
too.
it's like on occasion it happens, but these pictures are terrible.
Yeah.
It shouldn't get,
So there's a thought is, you know, one, it's a communication piece of it again too, so I don't know how many people are really aware of the process. I don't know if I really was either until I got in the seat. But, you know, I bought like, what, 12 or 15 of those garbage stickers, and then you can just have extra garbage that way, and then it's a cleaner way to do it, but. So, you know, there's an education piece in it, and whatever's decided, whether it's a newsletter or a letter going out to every address or something.
What is our charge when it's overfilled, because I'm sure that they'll back charge us at all. We're basically trying to help streamline this to where,
Well, I mean, it's not, you know, if it's over full like that, one, we're getting mad at them for breaking cans. And if the lid's off, well, the garbage can loses stability. And two, you know, or it'll spill and then we're expecting them to get out and pick it up. And, you know, when it gets real bad, that's when they start sending a bunch of pictures because it's kind of counterproductive in two ways, right? One, it's slower, and then we start fielding, you know, 100 calls because the garbage guy is behind, right? So now we're losing manpower up here because we're sitting there wasting a bunch of calls. So, there's kind of a double-edged sword with
Well,
that.
I mean, are you able to tell who's the repeat offenders, like just on a constant basis?
I mean, they just send pictures. I mean, I think we'd be asking them.
I've done it before once, I don't have a problem with somebody that does it, you know.
Especially
very
holidays
seldomly.
and
You know,
instances like that.
We discussed this a couple of years ago, and, at that time, they decided they'd put a dollar sticker on it.
Yep.
This was my question at that time, and it still is. We're complaining about the lids are not down, okay? That's what breaks the garbage can. So they buy a dollar sticker and the lid's down, they still break the garbage can. What did the dollar gain us? To me, if it don't go in there and the lid isn't shut, you don't pick it up.
Well, I don't know about the lid being down with just,
If the lid can't sit down and it's flipped off the back because you got 4 bags up,
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just that though. If the lid isn't down when they lift it, the stuff falls out.
well, yeah, I see them piled up on top with a sticker on them, you know?
It looks like they're throwing garbage in there that's not inside bags either.
I think that top picture, I think somebody said crows or something,
Yeah,
what
it
was
was
that one?
Crows.
The second one, it looks like there's just random garbage thrown in there, they're not inside bags, and obviously with that next one down too, but I mean, I've also had instances where I don't think they're very careful at all
Oh, geez, no.
with the garbage.
Not
My
at all.
can's knocked over all the time,
No.
and it's kind of frustrating.
Well,
It's very frustrating.
I mean, I have no problem saying it on public record. We got some service issues that we need to address with them, and the contract's gonna be up this next year. So there's already made contact with 3 other vendors that we need to bring in, because I think we've learned over the years that cheaper isn't better. And there's a cost of the cans, there's a cost of manpower up here, there's a cost of our street department. So just superficial cost means absolutely nothing. You gotta look at it big picture wise, and I don't think in the long run they're cheaper, to be perfectly honest.
Well, and that's why I was kinda asking if it was constant offenders, if it was, you could contact them to where they get a second.
If they send us an address or whatever, Deanne and Megan will send them a letter to say, hey, your garbage is overfilled, it's kind of a warning thing, but, you know, if we start asking them to record that all the time, then they're gonna start charging us for that, because it's gonna cost them a lot. One of the times they did really good is because they were training and they had 2 people in the truck. So that one guy could take notes all the time, well, that's easy,
Yeah.
but they can't do that all the time, nor can we really, you know.
What's the second can? Let's say I want a second can.
5250, they have to purchase the can for 5250, and then they get charged double on their,
Yeah.
double for garbage.
And there is some of those in this town, too. I mean,
Well, Henry at one time talked about bigger cans.
Different size cans, we did talk about that too, but I think it was gonna be,
That they would have to pay more for a larger can. I think that's how Waterloo does it. They have 2 fee levels. Not that that would solve the problem, because people just throw more.
Well, it's like,
Do you think larger can would stop the people from, probably not.
I don't know, but
No,
but if they pay a surcharge for that, though, right?
why don't you give them 3 warnings and then charge them a $50 fine? That might wake them up.
or not pick up their garbage.
Well, then what they're gonna do with it?
Well,
Yeah, I mean, staff
Well, yeah,
up on the
well,
side of the road.
it's policing it, right?
But this photo here, I think it's the second one, with the lid up. So it's my understanding from when Blaine was here before, that when they start to lift that up, the lid kind of
could fall
keeps
back.
it in. And there's a good chance that that bag and stuff would fall out before it even got to the truck.
Yes.
So, I don't know.
And so Blaine wanted to come out and talk to us, you know, due to his schedule and, you know, some of ours. It's not gonna work out in the near term, but, you know, I mean, I don't know. For the almost one full year that I've been here, I mean, I don't know if I would have ever tolerated as many issues that I would have ever had with a vendor. I mean, it blows my mind.
This first picture is just ridiculous.
So I don't know to some degree if that's a Brian thing for like wintering, to site for wintering, or, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
'cause that's bad. I mean, who's gonna clean that up?
that's very bad.
Mhm.
And I suppose they just sit there
If you
all
look
week.
down the street on that one, a
Yeah,
lot
I've
of those
seen
lids
that.
are slightly up, which is how mine was this last week, just slightly up, it wasn't like.
Well, and I think
true
I've even,
picture, I would never do that, but.
well, I don't think they were even complaining about usually the site itself, right? It's
Yeah.
just, I don't know. Well, the problem is, so you know where this came from, right? We were putting a lot of pressure on them for damage. And we're like, guys, this has to stop because we're blowing hundreds of dollars a week, and then they come back with this now all of a sudden, right?
Mhm.
So it's damage control, and it's not our fault, it's your fault, right? That's-
Oh, it's
And to some degree, I mean, they're somewhat right,
some of this,
somewhat.
yes, but.
I think some of it is obnoxious, but I think like we did with other entities that have come here, if it's like that bad, give them an opportunity to say, this is the first warning, and if it continues, then we come up with a way that there's a payment to correct it. I mean, if you sent me a bill for an extra $50, and I can guarantee you my can wouldn't be like that.
We need to do something like that, yeah.
I think that's the fairest way, because you're giving them notice and opportunity that, hey, we have an issue according to the city, and if it continues, this could be the charge if we see this.
Would we have to adopt a code to be able to do that?
You wouldn't have to pass it,
Or
you would have to pass a resolution, I think, you're gonna add something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it would have to be like writing a code.
We need to.
Then you also got to think too, I mean, who's gonna manage that? If like, if, let's say Lynn gets caught and Steve lives over here and, nobody, you know what I mean? It's kind of that whole dog race, it's kind of chasing your tail thing again too.
Or it happens to be that one day that you do overfill a little bit. You know?
Actually, when I drove around, I haven't seen that, I've seen, I bet you 50% of the cans in town are not with the lid shut on trash day, including mine. So I mean, it's gonna happen, but this is excessive, obnoxious, and it needs to be addressed in some form. I agree with that.
That's where you all gotta figure where you're gonna draw the line. Yes, sir.
Down my street every week, you'll find it.
Yeah, I know the one there.
Do you get calls from citizens about their
And-
garbage?
Now, I'll tell you, with our infestation of crows we have in this town, they were all
Photos, do
spending
citizens
all
calls,
over.
my neighbor's garbage is all over the street.
That one was a crow. The crow, the lid was completely off and the crow got into it.
Well, no, what she's saying is, does like,
It's a
if
neighbor.
Lynn's my neighbor, do the neighbors call and say so-and-so's garbage is overfull?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
They do?
Yes.
So that's a way you.
You know,
And it was it was that one specifically that.
If
The
people
last
would
time
do a
we
little more
discussed
recycling.
There was the point that brought up, if you look for garbage can that's over, you'll never see a blue can there at
Right.
that house.
Well, I look at it, me, two kids and, a wife and stuff, family of four. Like our recycling could be probably almost picked up every week, right?
Oh, for
And then
sure.
our garbage is usually full to the point where I'm using some of those dollar stickers, you know what I mean? So, just
They gotta recycle, they're not filling their garbage can for the Because of young people.
Because there are times.
Don't
like
understand
you're
how a household of
recycling
two
garbage.
can overrun a garbage can in 1 week. I've never had one happen yet.
Yeah, right.
Depends on how much you like chewy ass.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I put mine out about once a month.
Okay, so now you're
Oh,
managing.
my goodness.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll rent some space.
Well, there you go. Charge
go,
50
buddy.
cents, charge
Make some
50 cents
money.
for stickers in your garbage can,
I'm surprised no one's figured that out.
Yeah.
Because I have neighbors who have overflowing
Yeah.
cans and they don't even see me put mine out. You would think they would.
They're probably like, you forgot to put his garbage out.
Well, at some point, that's what we used to do in our neighborhood, we would ask, like, hey, so-and-so, you got space, yeah, whatever. Until I just learned about the sticker thing, to me, it's just easier to spend $15 on 15 stickers and just use them instead of,
And you put the
Begging.
bag on the side of it?
I put them back on top, they still get out and, yeah. For a bucket bag, man, they can get out and get that thing.
When is Blackhawk's contract up?
This next budget cycle, this fiscal year.
Month, what month?
June 30th. June 30th, yep.
I was gonna say, that'd be a good time to come out with all the new rules.
Maybe for sure. Yep.
You know?
So, I
the
mean,
new
I think,
contract and maybe a new carrier.
yeah, so I think this was, Deanna was having some issues with this, is just get this in front of you guys, get some conversations about it so you can start thinking of how you want to address it. Because, we got issues with some of this being a problem, and then we got some issues with the other too, so. Okay. Right. Anything else on the garbage cans? First?
Well, could we get a cost on a bigger can?
Yeah.
So what are ours, like 40 gallon or something?
Whether 30 and 50, I think.
Ours are 65.
Okay, 65.
Ours are 65, so it's
I don't even
probably,
know what kind of ours would be.
ours are
They got some
65.
big ones, though, I've seen that.
65.
Because I wouldn't think that Blaine would, Blackhawk would charge much more for a bigger can, so it'd just be essentially buying the can.
It doesn't hurt the water.
I'll reach out.
Maybe the bigger can would fill that tank a little bit better so it doesn't crush.
Yeah.
I mean, because really, we are spending a ton of money on carts. I mean, they track that stuff.
600.
Yeah, there you go. Some weeks it's for $600 a week in replacement cans. I mean, that is a lot of money.
Oh, I watched the big line up and just crush the side of it and use it.
Yeah,
Because I don't
Ryan,
have anything.
yeah, Ryan Hall sent me some video with his, security cameras in his house.
Yeah.
So, okay. Anything else on the garbage carts for now? So I don't know, I think maybe a motion to table this until we get some further information.
So,
Sorry.
Okay. All in favor with, tabling item 12, please respond with aye. All right, thank you.
Have we done anything today?
I don't think so.
that we paid the bill.
Hey, hold on, we paid the bills,
Yeah,
and we've got some liquor licenses, so we're over. Okay, item number 13 is gonna be public discussion. Yes, sir.
How do we get rid of all these dang crows that moved in town? I've never seen so many crows in my life.
Stop putting your garbage in your carts.
They eat all my squirrel food every day.
You know, John, we thought about hiring a guy for $1 an hour to chase them around, and that job's open.
Shoot a gun in town.
Oh, he said chase them. He didn't say shoot them, he said chase them. Don't they got those beanbag nets to catch them? Go call them back. That's a good question. I don't know. I think that's probably right up there with the geese around Myers Lake and other parts of town, right? Unfortunately, we encroached on nature's area, and now we get to. All right, anything else? All right, item number 14, Cal.
So how did, I guess, Gene had asked before about Hillman.
Yeah.
And at that time it was, go to court the next day or something. What?
Yeah, I think that court case got pushed till, he contested it, right? He said not guilty, right? Yeah, he said not guilty, and now it got pushed to January, February? Yeah, January, February.
Not guilty.
Yeah,
I don't know how you say
Hey,
it.
listen, man, I'm just telling you.
Those cars aren't in.
I don't. I was shocked myself when I heard, but we gotta let the court system do its thing.
And
Yes, sir?
if, we brought that up to the planning and zoning and we could get them to limit so many cars, would that help?
Well,
Think you can enforce that?
well, I think it's too far down the road now.
But I mean though, if we did that, it stops some of the new ones.
Maybe. Well, I mean, I think what he was doing all this time was technically illegal, according to code. You can't dump stuff there anyways. So the city's kind of addressed it hit or miss. I think this is the first time that we've actually put the pedal to the metal and said, you know what, this is what it is, you're going to court to get rid of it. Because it sounds like it's an issue bouncing back between us and Waterloo, right? The Waterloo kind of puts the fire on, moves stuff to Evansdale, if Evansdale puts the fire on, moves Waterloo. Okay, you know what, I mean, don't blame him. But finally, Evansdale kind of got to the point where, I talked to Brian, and that it was enough, we really done with it. Because now some of the residents that live over there have been complaining too, for another year. I've had a couple different residents come in and say, hey, when's this gonna actually be addressed? You kind of owe it to those folks too.
And the road is not guilty.
No, he pled not guilty.
Oh, he.
Yeah, it's gotta go, so it's gotta go to court further, yeah. So we still, I think, we're golden, but it's just delayed. Yeah. That's a great question, Dick, I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah, well, you know, it'd be another thing if in that time he was down there moving cars.
Yeah, right, I know, no. No. Anything else?
Mayor,
Yes, sir?
years back, how did they get him to do the stuff down there by the lake? They got them out of there on those. No, yeah, where the city was trying to build it, because he had a junkyard down there for a long time.
I believe, and I might be wrong about this, but he went through a divorce and he was forced to sell that off to his wife, if I'm not mistaken, or sell it off to somebody. And they split it.
So it wasn't us that got him
No.
out there. Okay, because he had a junkyard down there, he had him way back down there.
The city's been fighting with him as long as I've worked.
There you go. So we just said enough is enough, and they're gonna get it resolved in the, and it's obviously taking them more painful path. Okay. Anything else? All right, looks like we're up for a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
All right,
Second.
all right, any adjournment?